let's get everybody on here, shall we? We'll dive right in. Hey! Oh, that's not it. Hey, Internet. My name is Todd. I'm going to try to fix some of the mic stuff going on. But basically, we had a bit of a late start tonight. I personally blame children. They're wonderful little goblins, but sometimes I just wish you had a magic potion. I believe in the words of Carl, he suggested a magic potion, which I am not going to repeat because I don't condone such things, although I understand such things. Anyway, so tonight we're going to be playing some Dungeons & Dragons, and looking forward to it. It's been a little while since we were in this campaign. If you missed the earlier episodes, you can check them out on YouTube or as podcasts on all the podcast places. So if you go over to iTunes, or I use Podbean, but yeah, there's pretty much any podcast place, iHeartRadio, go check them out if you want the backstory or previous campaigns. It's all good for that. So you're welcome to join us for that and catch up if you want. Now, here's the benefit of showing up live. You can influence our current game. So we have an ongoing campaign. You can join us live on Twitch or YouTube. And one of my lovely players will probably be watching chat because mine isn't working for some reason. But the joyful thing is you get to spend plot points. Plot points. And the benefit of plot points is you get to influence the game, put in an idea. It can be a joke, it can be serious. The only stipulation is if we can't mix it in immediately, I'll write it down and I will feed it out as soon as the opportunity arises. For example, in the previous campaign, they briefly came into contact with a Tarrasque, so that was fun. Now, no insta-deaths, although that probably would have been if they'd stuck around. Fortunately, there was an easy runaway. Anywho, enough about Tarrasques. For now. We're going to dive back into this campaign with a quick update, but before we do, let's go meet the table. So, hi, table. Actually, I don't really care about the table. I care about the people. Hi, lovely people. You're on.
Hi. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah.
I guess others have... Is this the first stream, or did you stream last times too? Yes. There was a thing yesterday, right?
Was there a thing? I was unaware. Are you guys plotting against me?
Am I wrong? I'm completely wrong. Never mind. Don't worry about what I'm saying. Hi. Welcome back, everybody.
You guys just got busted. Okay.
Oh.
No, the gloves are coming off, motherfucker. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right.
Good. You pull your punches way too much. Can't believe you mentioned that Tarrasque. Barely even had to show up.
I know.
Disappointing.
Well, you know, there are things they're in my contract. Mostly, I'm kidding. There's no contract here. Anyway, let's go around the table, meet everybody, get as much of a recap as we need to dive back into the action. So let's start over here, directly above me with Gordon. Do you even remember who you were playing?
Yeah. Normally I'd be playing Rook, but I'm playing Talthar.
We will return to Rook.
Talthar, who is a paladin on a mission. He was in session 0. He's made a return. And he finds himself caught up with a motley crew of people that he's accompanying because his orders have changed. And he is escorting a lizard folk person back to his faction.
Exactly. So the lizard man must survive. Or something. We'll see.
And now there's Cove on the beach with some shady people that he is tempted to kill.
Well, you know, that's fair. I mean, you are a paladin in a smuggler's town, so, you know, there's going to be temptation for murder. Left, right, and center. Let's go directly above and go talk to Darcy. Hey, Darcy. Welcome back.
Hey, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I realized what I was thinking was last week, which I still don't know if that's a streamed game or if that's just everyone hanging out. But anyway, hi, I'm Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBits, where I do lots of other things. Anyway, for this game, I'm playing Empty Wisdom. And in the vein of what is everyone doing, she has no idea what she is doing. She is here, and she left the monastery to go like see the world as sort of a rite of passage, and has ended up. I think she kind of might have blacked out or something and found herself traveling with this group and was like, I guess I should just go with the flow. So here she is.
Welcome to adventure and death.
Yep.
Well, you did have quite the shocking run-in with death a couple of episodes back, so that's going to rattle anybody's cage. All right, let's jump.
Yeah.
Let's jump back down to Steve. Steve, who are you playing for us today? And also, Steve is our resident Shadowrun GM as well.
Yeah, not GMing tonight. Although I did wear a shirt. This one's for you, Bella, because I know you love all of my Sasquatchy characters. So.
Love that.
But but today it's the Goliath Rogue Gex Tech for very old man. What else do you have to say about him?
Well, he's a rogue and a Goliath and an old guy. No one's going to die as a result.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
All right, let's jump over to
You want
Bella.
to get to know him? Yeah, right on.
Since I was mentioned anyway, and I love your shirt. It's amazing. Hi everybody, I'm Bella. I'm playing Isolde. She's a half-elf blood hunter, who, I don't know, as of late, hasn't been very, confident with herself, so hopefully tonight's game will build her confidence.
I kind of get the impression that Isolde is like the anti-Gex. Not that she's against Gex. It's just he's old and grizzled.
And she's young and green as hell.
Exactly. And so they make a good team for that point of view. All right, let's keep going up our little passageway here, and on my screen anyway, Brandon, welcome back. And who are you, and who are you playing?
Hola, I am playing Eli, a half-elf divination wizard, who might be a bit above his head in what he's doing now, but he's gonna try his best. And also found out that his grandma might be in trouble, so that's fun.
That's right. That's how we ended the very last episode. The joys of divination wizards suddenly realizing that for aiding and abetting your group, your grandmother may yet be paying the price, as she was captured and dragged off into the swamps as they chased down your group. All right, next up, let's go talk to Donnie.
Hi, I'm playing Ashina. She is an Ashari druid. She's actually joined the club as a friend of Isolde's. And we just recently come across a new pet.
That's right. You ended up picking up a strange bulbous type blossom off of a tree that ended up with some pulsing light inside and a shrieking warning just in time. And then, almost sacrificing itself, you managed to bring it back with some very hefty health rolls, I think it was, medicine, and also maybe some healing magic. And you have yourself a tiny, slightly underdeveloped fairy dragon. So that might...
And I named it Rainbow.
Absolutely. And by the way, technically that's going to work a bit like a familiar. So you can kind of do the druid thing and spend one of your wild shapes to kind of get it to behave in a way that's a bit more than just a curled up dragon inside your pocket or inside your, or whatever, wherever you keep your dragon. I mean, we're not going to judge you where you keep your dragons. I mean, people can
And
just...
I've also come to the conclusion I will probably try to feed it good berries.
Nice. That's probably a good bet, because it being a fey creature, you don't really know what it eats. Maybe it eats the souls and dreams of those around it. I don't know.
In
Anyway,
which case, I will communicate with it later in life to find out what it likes.
absolutely. So let's keep going around the horn. Let's go over and meet Tihmily. And who are you playing for us today, Tihmily?
Today I will be playing Hilda Boombraid, who is a dwarf paladin, like Talifar, and a dwarf.
Unlike Talithar.
Who has, unlike Talifar, but who has shamed her family by going to medical school and then further shaming them by not even completing medical school. So
Ooh.
she's sort of the resident, sort of healer, but not really.
It's like,
I have a mediocre amount
yeah,
of
you
healing
often run
knowledge.
into stuff that was covered next semester. You're like,
Not-
I was on the
yeah.
syllabus, but not this term.
I know that if you put a band-aid here, that could help.
Yep, band-aids. All right, so nobody get hurt, okay? Because she's your doctor. All right.
Just pour divine energy into it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank God for Dungeons and Dragons magic, because otherwise I was going to say this is way too real.
Heal on
Functioning
hand.
healthcare
Heal on
system. Did you just say kill on hands? Or
No,
lay on?
heal on
lay on.
hands.
Oh, heal
Lay
on hands,
on
like
hands.
lay on hands. Oh, it's just like, whoa, that just took a turn. All right, and top of the page there, let's go meet Matt.
I am playing Balin Iron Eater. He is a dwarf, technically a wizard, but hones all the traditional dwarven skills. So he knows how to use a mace as well, or a warhammer, I suppose. And he's the first generation of dwarves who sort of reclaimed their own old mountain homes of Illafarn and has set back out to reconnect with the world a little bit. Try to look for some allies and some of that lost dwarven knowledge and artifacts. And so after being rescued by the party from a purple worm's gullet, he's sworn a debt that he owes them and is traveling with them to honor that.
Absolutely. So nothing possibly. I love that the first introduction of your character, at your suggestion, not mine. That was the definite plot point. Was getting regurgitated into the party. I think that's a new one for me for Dungeons and Dragons. Regurgitated.
classic.
Is it? It's like the giant cat pauses and. Okay, I'll spare you. All right, and
It should be.
Well, I am pretty hairy, so
it's true. That purple worm is
Hot in there.
spitting up lots of stuff. Anywho, and of course, I am Todd, and I will be the Dungeon Master playing everybody else. So let's dive in and let's get to it, shall we? Here we go. The party finds themselves. And now it's been a long, arduous trek through a swamp, up and over ridges and cliff tops overlooking the ocean, and a harried journey, fleeing in the night away from pursuers, pursuit of a very angry mage faction of the islands that you, not too long ago, were possibly responsible for the sinking and death of a whole bunch of their crewmates on board a Mage Tower ship. Looking at you, Gex. Looking at you.
Yeah, there's only like 3 of us or something.
Yeah, but they seem to hold a grudge. So you have fled across the island over towards, on advice of this little roguish being who, unfortunately, Jay couldn't be here tonight, but he knows a contact who owes him a favor in the far end of the island, the other port city in this one port town, on this one port island, a secret port of the Smugglers' Cove. So you find yourselves finally making your way through jungle, past swamp, into the Smugglers' Cove. Talking your way through the entrance, you find your way to an inn. It's a fairly ruckus area where music is playing in the tavern. People of all stripes and different, well, let's be honest, they're all pretty sketchy motherfuckers, but they seem to welcome you after the shenanigans at the gate, and you are now gathered around at the inn, getting your cups, getting your meals as you see fit, slopping off the day's mess from your boots, and just finding your place amongst the ragtag hoodlums on the far side of this tiny little tropical island. At which point, your companion Eli practically spits his drink out across the table, muttering about his something about his grandmother. What do you want to do?
They have my grandma. They have my grandma.
Who's got your grandma?
What?
The people.
Who's got your grandma?
I used this. I set up some clairvoyants, and I saw them, and they were taking my grandma. The guys that were chasing us, Hudrick and his men. But I didn't see Hudrick, but I saw his men, compatriots.
Where?
I don't know. They got to where we blocked it off, and they kind of went into the woods.
Back up the hill.
At this outburst, you see a few of the locals kind of turning and looking. They've seemed to have kind of been a bit startled by the outburst, and this one half-orc woman kind of comes over, wearing kind of tavern worker clothes. Nothing too much, a little bit run down, but she looks very capable. Her arms almost as thick as some of your smaller folks' legs here. She's pretty, she can definitely handle herself. She comes over and she's like, all right, is there anything more anyone wants?
Rooms?
Sure. How many rooms do you want?
Are we thinking of staying? It sounds like shouldn't we go?
We need
Shouldn't
rest.
we help? We need
Yeah,
to rescue
she-
his grandmother. Like, she helped us. If it wasn't for her, we would have lost Gax.
Well, this is true.
I am pretty
How much-
important,
How
so
much help are we when we're all spent?
Excuse me, miss, but do you know anyone who has a crystal ball by chance?
Good one.
That's a no.
Oh,
I
you were
might
serious?
be able to make you one. Assuming
I mean,
a crystal ball is just a piece of crystal, I think I could make that with fabricate, right?
you actually could. Yeah, I mean, maybe the governor's got one, but he's got all kinds of art. You're arty folks, you're art smugglers. Is that what you are?
Hmm? No.
oh,
And as soon as Isolde starts to say no, Jay's character, what the heck is his name?
Jimmy.
Archibald
Jimmy.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy pipes up. He's like, "Yep, we're art smugglers. Yeah, that's us, all of us.
Right.
And you feel a marked kick on the shins, Isolde, as
Ow! Oh. Art smuggled. And she's just gonna kind of sink into the seat, hide.
well, you're in luck. I think the governor's got lots and lots of interest in that kind of thing. You should give him first crack, and he might give you further access. In the meantime, you're lucky you're here in time for the tide turn, and think a bunch of stuff's gonna be shipping out. So, good luck to y'all. Anyway, if you need a drink, flag me down. She turns and leaves, and Jimmy eyeballs you, kind of. Look, we gotta play it kind of cool round here.
Yeah, anyways, Jimmy, where is your contact?
Well, he generally frequents the other in town, a little bit more seedy. You guys look around and you're like, more.
More seedy than what we're in?
Well, yeah, this is the nut. You think I'd take you not to nice places?
Mhm. How long will it take you to arrange for a boat?
Well, that should only take a little bit, but if she said the tide turn's coming in a couple of days, we can't actually. You saw them rocks when we came in, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you just want you to imagine what that does to a ship. So you got to be real careful when you leave, right? As far as I can tell. So, there's particular times when you're able to, like, push off. Now, my friend knows a lot more about this than I do, but basics are there's certain days when the tides are right and the mists are in, and it makes for a nice little quiet leave. So we got to figure out exactly when that is. We won't be on my friend's ship when that happens.
Okay, so you're saying we're going to be here for like a couple of days, not like a night, not 30 minutes.
Well, I imagine so if she said tide turns in a little bit. I mean, I'm not much of a sailor. God, I hope we can get a good crew. it's slim pickings around here sometimes.
Eli, what do you want to do?
Well, she was just taken because I was using my clairvoyance spell and it's gone now. So it was literally just now that she was taken, but I don't have anything left in the tank. So I don't know, like Ashina was saying, I don't know how much help I would be if I were to go. But if I could get my hand on a crystal ball, I could cast a spell that we can find her pretty well tomorrow, pretty easily. And then just kind of pray that nothing happens to her. But I'd assume that since they didn't kill her, they're holding on to her for a bit longer.
Do they know that you
Maybe for ransom.
have these types of abilities? Because they might be doing this to try to lure you out.
Yes.
Well, they know my grandma does. I'm not really a native to this island. I've only been here for a couple of months.
Your crystal ball, is it made of glass, quartz? What materials do you need?
That's a good question.
If you get rest, you may not even need it, right? You'll be able to recast your spell.
I would still need it's a more powerful version of the spell I'm using. So it's a different spell. So
Understood.
I
Todd,
don't
as a
know.
wizard with Arcana, would I be able to do a roll to ascertain if I could get the material to fabricate an orb form?
You can absolutely make a roll for that. In fact,
That'd be Arcana?
because you're trained in Arcana, so I'm even going to give in. You've done various component type situations before, so I'm going to let you roll with advantage.
That makes sense. Specifically in the wheelhouse of a dwarven crafter mage.
So the dwarf kind of
Eli,
The 19 plus 6, so 25.
25. Nice. Yeah, you get a pretty good idea that you know what it would involve. Now, you'd need a couple of raw materials of about the right size. And the better the quality of the materials, the better the quality, easier the, basically the lower DC for casting Fabricate. But you could definitely do that.
Okay.
Brandon, does the spell that you're casting have like a gold cost listed with the thing?
yeah,
Do we know like the approximate value of this crystal ball?
I believe it's 100 gold pieces.
Yes.
That's not too bad, actually.
1,000. 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay,
So
yeah,
you-
that's a bit
yeah.
more.
Now, part of
The
that
only
is
requirement
craftsmanship.
is that I know how to use the
Yeah,
tools.
part is
associated
craftsmanship.
with it,
Yes, totally.
And that I have the material to fabricate. So I guess this might be glass blowing, eh?
Yeah, I would. If you
Or-
could get a sufficient amount of either glass, crystal, or even gemstones, or any combination thereof, would definitely go a long way to making this easier.
Yeah, I think if I
And
made out of
makes glass.
stone, I could do it because I know how to work with that stuff. But glass, I don't think. I
Well,
could
even
do.
quartz you could work.
Yeah.
Sand makes glass.
Glass
Yeah,
makes
you
ball.
could definitely do it, and you could do it cheaper than the thing would be, and still have one of the same value.
Oh, yeah.
because you're accommodating for labor and craftsmanship, like you were saying, Todd. But it's still going to be a pretty penny for the components, I imagine.
Well, I'd let you do some investigation rolls to see what you might be able to scrounge up, but any kind of treasure type things that people might be able to kick in would offset that and lower the DC, basically.
That's a good point. Do players have like treasures from their journeys? I literally have no idea what everyone else has.
Not much.
I have 15 GP.
I mean, we're in like a pirate cove, so I'm sure some smooth talking and some deals being made might be able to garner some materials our way.
Can I get 2 people to helm a perception check for me? Isolde, you're one of
Plus 8
them.
if that helps.
I am one of them.
Sure.
I have
Actually-
I have a +8.
Sure,
Yeah,
Ashina.
That seems right.
I can assist you with a perception.
Sure, Ashina can roll with advantage then.
I'll just roll twice.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can beat a
I
14.
need
Come
that.
on. 17.
That's still better.
Let's see. Yeah.
Better
So-
than a kick in the head.
Ashina, you're kind of look up from your keep your dragon nuzzled in right close where it's nice and warm, and you just look up from gently kind of petting it underneath your cloak, trying not to draw attention. You look up at Isolde when she says, I've got 15 GP, just in time to see this little, like maybe 13, 15, somewhere in there, year old kid who's just appears to be casually walking by, but slowing and lingering, his fingers dangling down near her belt for a moment. And then when she says, I have 15 GP, you see this kid look like, oh, and just turn and walk away like, oh, not worth it.
Good. Eli,
However-
do you think
sorry, go
we
ahead.
can actually spend the night? Maybe we could just recuperate a bit and then go?
Yeah,
don't-
my grandma's a strong woman. She's not gonna go down easy. As worried as I am, I mean,
If she can survive Gex, she can survive him.
And I also think if they wanted her dead, she wouldn't have gotten this far.
yeah. So Balon, if you just tell me what you need, I can go and try and find some.
Yeah, I just need a crystal of some kind, and I can fabricate that for you, I believe. I rolled a 14 for an investigation check to see if I maybe know where we could get it in the area.
I mean, there were definitely
I
some
don't-
outcroppings of quartz you passed on the way into town. You take note of such things. So there was some pretty nice veins of it along the path you took along, especially when you got to the coast and those sheer drops. There were some exposed veins that you could probably chisel out enough that you might be able to pull that off. But it would mean
Okay.
backtracking back to that. And again, it would be enhanced by any real gemstones that you might be able to kind of transmit some of the energy from those into the quartz and meld it all together. Like a heart, a gemstone heart would definitely go a long way.
From my background or whatever, I started with 10 GP jewel, so I have an azurite worth 10 GP that I started with, so I could use that.
That would be a start, but it wouldn't be the better the heart, the better the outcome. Actually, cut back to your great grandfather. The better the heart, the better the outcome. Cut back to this inn tavern as punk, the ale gets plunked down on your tables as the order goes around. If you made an order that was not the house ale, it is promptly messed up, and you get the house ale, and everybody gets the house ale, and an offer for the house stew.
I'm gonna make sure my back is like to a wall, like there's no one sidling behind me or anything like that. Like if I'm sitting down.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get you to do an insight check, just for fun.
With me?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
fun?
It's because you're,
Okay,
you're scanning the room.
I'm scanning. I'm also trying to look, one, for people who are undesirable, who should not be listening on us, and two, anyone in my secret network that could potentially provide safe haven.
Fair enough.
So I will do an insight check.
You doing insight?
Not good. 8.
Oh my
Doing
goodness.
This
insight?
is not
Good
your
news, I don't-
scene, my friend.
Not my scene. I'm like,
You have found your way into lots of different places, especially drinking establishments. But knowing that everyone here is quite happily against the rule of law, and potentially,
not my jam.
yeah, that's the thing. So unfortunately, yeah, something's a bit off about this place. It feels on the surface like it should be a pretty good time, but there's this. It's almost like a bad smell, although it's not that exactly. But there's a weird sense about the place. It is on the edge of scent.
Look around.
Ashina, you all with a 25, you obviously see like several people casing a party the size of yours, making note of valuables and kind of keeping look for patterns. You see about 3 or 4 of them kind of taking turns. You see one guy kind of walking by looking like he's on his own. Then a little while later, you see him loop back in a slightly different pattern. You see him kind of exchange nods with someone in the corner. So this is definitely a room with eyeballs on you. But the rest of, there's probably about 3 or 4 people to kind of keep an eye on out of a good maybe 25 in the place. By the way, the inn you're in is several stories high. So it's probably a good 5 stories high. Rickety wood, really constructed at different times. Some of it's brick, some of it's wood. And it's built on a natural stone kind of rise, and they've fortified the base of it. And then if you had to take a guess, the basement's probably like storage and kitchen stuff. And there's this central staircase that winds its way, rickety and uneven. It like stairs kind of jutting off at different angles. Wood and otherwise might be a good time. Then there's kind of different floors on which the ruckus is happening. There's probably a good 25, 30 people kind of scattered amongst the 3 floors that this common room takes up. Apparently rooms are scattered off on each of the floors haphazard. Not a lot of civic planning went into pretty much any of this town. And there's probably a good 4 or 5 staff kind of walking around at any time. And of all those people, at least 3 of them customers seem a little dicey and paying attention to you guys. And one of the dicey people, there were 4 that you pick up, Ashina. One of them is a staff member.
Staff
Okay.
member, okay.
All right. So what do you want to... So, if you... The Jimmy pipes up. So, right, I'm going to get you all settled in here, then I'm going to skedaddle over to the other place, meet up with my friend, and then we'll come on back. Yeah, we'll see if we can get out of this place. I'm sorry about your gran.
It's fine. She'll be fine. And with that said, Eli's just gonna stand up and he's like, I'm gonna go look for this governor person / look for any quartz. And he just kind of looks at the table to see, like, he's not inviting anyone explicitly, but he's very clearly like, if anyone wants to tag along, you're free. And he just kind of waits there.
I'll,
If you
I'll
would like
tag
any
along.
company on that search, I will join you.
I feel like as a
I'll
dwarf, I could provide also some assistance. Maybe not as much as Balin, but my daddy did taught me some things.
Good to
I'll
hear.
come too. I'm not
So
really
I-
doing anything here.
As I observe the party, does anybody appear hurt?
I'll keep that 25 insight. Is anybody less than half? Like anybody banged up pretty good?
I'm less than half. I don't remember how, but I am.
Well, you did fight the purple
I'm-
worm, and that's not a
You were
euphemism.
at
Yeah,
0, and then I gave you like 25.
we did just like force march after that, didn't we? Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
I will lay a hand on you. You will get
I'm
9
okay.
points. 9 points automatically.
Who, me?
Yes.
Okay,
Alright.
thank you.
If you're less than half, I'll give you at
Yeah.
least 9 points. Hopefully put you back over that.
So there's
Didn't
this.
we take a rest at the end of the last session?
You were about to. You finally got to the inn, ready to rest, and then Elias jumped up, yelling about his Meemaw.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't had a
That
chance
makes
to
sense.
rest yet. That's why I was asking about rooms.
The
That makes sense.
Prematurely then.
As I
Thank
look
you.
around also,
Yeah.
as
Yep.
I look around also, Todd, do I see people watching us from the other floors up? Is it like an open area up?
There's probably, I mean, the whole place is probably 50 or so feet, and the center column isn't entirely aligned with the ones above. So there's an opening, and then a floor, and then a bit off to the right's the other opening. And you even see one down, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of light down there. So it's really kind of hard to tell. Somebody might be sitting in the shadows on the 3rd floor. Nobody on the 2nd floor seems to be. You're on the 2nd floor. Nobody on the 3rd floor appears to be obviously leaning and looking, but they might be back in the shadows a bit. And it's really hard to see up on the 4th floor from here. Although you can tell it's lit and there are people up there somewhere.
So if we're gonna split off, we should probably not have anyone dangling, right? So keep the group somewhat similar in size.
Buddy situations.
No one gets picked off. So are you guys going out to get some quartz? Or are you going to try to meet this governor person? Because that probably will determine also who should help and how many.
I was planning on asking for the governor first. I feel like anything that can be done by just talking is probably our best bet before we go straight to hard labor, which is not my forte.
Any of you good at talking to people who are in an official status?
I mean, I am.
Common for years. I'm great at it.
At that exact moment, you see the door close as Jimmy has just left, and you're all like, "Oh,
yeah, it's like, yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
He
Goodbye.
can go up. But the rest of us in this kind of place should probably.
I'll lean into Gordon's character and let him know what I saw around.
Okay.
Let him know that we are being watched by many people.
So, thank you. And so,
Something that could actually help us if we all have 10 minutes. And he just like flips through his spell book, and he's gonna ritual cast telepathic bond. So you forge a telepathic link among up to 8 willing creatures. What a coincidence! Physically linking each creature. Until the spell ends, the targets can communicate telepathically through the bond, whether or not they have a common language. The communication is possible over any distance.
That's a powerful
nice.
one.
That is,
Nice.
yeah, that's huge." I'm gonna.
Wow.
So you start to. Now, I don't know how much casting you've done in a crowded inn before, but you're probably a bit more used to, quieter environs or certainly less public ones. I'm just curious, how obvious are you making this? Is there a verbal component?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes, there
are
is.
you standing up in the middle of the table and being like, "A song out of my mind to your mind"?
I'm
Maybe-
assuming you. Yeah.
We should,
I mean,
maybe we
he's
should
definitely
get
more of a mumbler. Yeah. But
Do we all need to hear it in order for it to have the telepathic connection?
Well, we
That's
have
a
to
lie.
be like within the area, right? But
Elias leans in and pulls Hilda. He looks like he's going in for like uncomfortably close, and he motions to his eyes, and you feel yourself fall into his eyes. It's this weird like spiral effect, and you're just like, what? And you can now sense him in your mind, and you pull back, and it's just like your pupils just go dilate in, and then everyone else who's involved, that's the similar experience. It's just super awkward as Elias gets up in your business. And you may now all communicate telepathically. And I'm going to do some rolls to see if anybody noticed.
Eli's just gonna be like, I'm really sorry if this is invasive, but I thought it would be a good idea.
hello, hello, hello. Whoa.
In your mind, you're here. Not a bad idea, brother.
So, anyways, maybe we keep it into two somewhat similar groups.
Well, there was already 4 of us going
Yeah.
to head out.
Okay.
This is weird.
Yeah, it's a very strange phenomenon, because when you close your eyes, the world fades away to this gray space, and the floor around you is illuminated and bright. But then as you go further away, it's this room that doesn't seem to end in all directions, almost like a cave, but nice, beautiful stone floor. But not stone. It's almost spongy. It's a very strange environment when you close your eyes for a second, and all 8 of you are quite comfortably standing, an arm distance away from each other in a circle. And then, so you have these 2 realities. When you send to each other, you can get a sense. And when you talk to each other in that realm, there's a bit of an echo of what they are in life. So Talithar, for a moment, says his thing, and in this strange, echoey space, he's holding the ale mug just for a heartbeat. It's almost like a flicker, and then it's gone, and then it's back. It's almost like remembering where you are in reality.
Well, if people weren't suspicious of you before, Eli, I guess they will be now.
Part of being a half elf, I guess.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Yep.
Right, you guys go. We'll chill here and get rooms.
So
I
half
get
of you
some rest.
Yeah, half of you get up and start moving away, and Lessons is like, "What? Where? Oh, hi. Oh, are we? What do I?
No, you're staying.
Why are you looking at each other so intently and saying nothing?" I'm assuming Lesserin wasn't part of that.
It's up to 8.
Nope.
Yeah, up to 8. That's just us.
Yep. So Lesserin is left out. Your lizard folk.
But, everything we said before that, he could have heard.
Yeah. It's just that last, basically 2 minutes where you're all just like,
But I do wonder if anyone did anything for the 10 minutes that Eli was casting the spell.
anybody else busy eating, chipping, taking thorns out of your legs? Anything else you want to do for 10?
I'm casting good berries.
We just
Oh,
wait.
my beard.
Yeah, is it enough that we get at least a short rest?
In another
10 minutes?
another half an hour or so, maybe. Actually, maybe only another 20 minutes or so. I would consider that a short rest if you want to spend some hit dice. It's been a little bit since you were at the gate on the way in, so sure, yeah, 10 more minutes or so it'll count as a 10 to 15.
Yeah, short rests are pretty vague as far as they're defined. Sitting
Usually
in
I
a
say
tavern?
about it.
That's a
Yeah,
short
that's
rest.
pretty resty. Sure. So
Yeah.
by the time Elias is done his ritual, a short time after that, you can go ahead and roll some hit dice. Anybody who wants to. And if you have any other things that happen on a short rest, I will dole it out. Congratulations, short rest! Woo!
Sweet.
The hell?
And another 6. Cool. Yeah, I'll get a couple hit dice from that. Or
How do I
spend
do
a couple
this?
hit dice. Yeah, I'll spend one more. Why not? Okay. Good enough.
Access my short rest.
All right, so who all is going with Elias out back the way you came into the dark?
Hilda's going.
Oh, sure, we can
I'm
do hands.
going.
That works.
Yep.
Sorry, Elias, Hilda, Balin,
Me.
and Isolde?
Oh. I didn't realize you
Oh,
were
the
going.
Success crew. The success crew.
And
Oh, that actually
Impu
makes 5. I was going to go, but if we're trying to be even, I can stay behind, I guess.
I mean, Lestrin counts,
It's up
I
to you.
suppose.
You can go.
Great.
I'll-
So,
I'll
Dixon's going to.
do. I'll do whatever the group thinks I ought to do.
I think maybe.
I think Gex should come with us since he's the only one who knows to use Kent.
Well,
That's fair.
you
Yeah.
better convince Gex.
To get back in, yeah, that might be important.
How do I activate the short rest?
Okay.
I mean, there might be a way on your sheet.
Right there it is.
Just refill the things that it gives you. You can roll hit dice by clicking on the word hit dice, that kind of thing. If you need to.
Well, I'm staying with Lestrin.
Donnie, all you're really going to get on a short rest are wild shapes back if you haven't used that, and you can spend hit dice. That's it.
Are you using D&D Beyond, Donnie?
Yeah, I got it. How do I
Okay, right on.
activate it, though? Take short rest.
Cool.
Do I get to roll
Alright.
all my hit dice back?
As many as you,
You
want
can
to
spend as many hit dice as you want. You will only get half back on a long rest, though, so be aware of that.
Oh yeah, it's half. I have to remember that.
I mean, it doesn't come up very often.
Yeah.
Very rarely does it come up.
This could be the time.
I was honestly trying to push us into going after Grandma underprepared because it makes it so much more fun when no one has their stuff.
I mean,
You just,
five of you are maybe 6.
one
depending on what
fight
Gex
for
does.
long rest, and it's like, oh, okay, sure. I just have everything every fight. What do you do?
Okay. I rolled 4 of my hit dice and got all my points back.
Nice. All right, so Ashina, you're staying or you're going?
I'm staying here.
All right. Lestrin's staying. Talathar's staying. Gex? You're going.
Go
All
on.
right.
Okay.
All right. And presumably Jimmy will come back and want to find some of you, if not all of you. All right. So that sounds pretty good. So let's, you gather yourselves after about 15 minutes or so, finish off your drinks, take a last couple breaths before you brace yourself to head back out into the dark night. It's relatively cool. It's not winter by any means, but it's definitely getting cooler at night. So you kind of pull your cloaks around you as you head back out into the night. Let's start with the group that's going. You wind your way down those kind of rickety switchback stairs that leading from the second floor of the inn, bidding your I guess you don't have to say goodbye because you can all communicate by your mind holes. So, so Elias and Empty Wisdom, Isolde, Gex, Balin, and Hilda all head out and down and back out across the small square. There's rickety tents and kind of shelters from rain that are held up. Nothing in this town seems intended to last forever, but it's been here for looks like a long time. Quick question for you, a technical question. Can all of y'all see the map?
No.
Yeah,
I can see part of it.
I can see buildings 4 and 5 and the little courtyard.
Yeah, I was just looking at a black section of it. Yeah, got it.
All right, cool. Building 4, by the way, is the inn. I forget what building 5 is. Let me go look, just because I want to know. Building 5 appears to be some...
competing in.
Yeah, by the way, this map was by, I want to say Daniel. Yeah, Daniel's Maps on Patreon. You should give them some love if you got such ability. Anywho, so that's, you're kind of eyeballing stuff as you go by up and down these stairs. It's definitely, they took a weird, like there are some, it looks like gullies, kind of outcroppings of stone interrupting the middle of the street, and there's rickety stairs up and around them in various intervals. They put this town here because it is not easy to find, not because it was a good place for a town. And it's funny because from the outside, it did not look that big, but now that you're actually walking through, there's more people here than you would have thought initially. And it kind of twists in a rat's den kind of way. A lot of the buildings are up on stilts and half up on hills. The front end might be on stilts and the back is perched on some rocks, or some of them are even tree houses. Others just rickety shacks or tents on the ground. You kind of march your way past building 5 there, and you see some pretty rough looking characters hanging around outside, some of them playing cards. At least a few of them have enough in common with their armor to give you the impression they're a somewhat organized group. In my map, it says guard post, so you get the idea. Okay, the people who enforce whatever rules happen to be in this town, some of them hang out in that spot, not inconveniently right across from the inn. You make and the tavern. You make your way down and around back along the path that you came in on, not parkouring like I just showed Isolde and Empty doing. Just out of curiosity, what's the approximate marching order? No reason.
I think I would probably be in front.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was also kind of thinking I'd be up there trying to, have my eagle eye out for those rocks.
Sure.
I think I would stick close to Isolde.
Okay. I'll
So-
be keeping an eagle eye out for behind us, being followed or anything.
Sure. And you say you don't know things. All right, so you'll be bringing up the back. Oh, Gex is bringing up the back, I see. Stealthy and quiet in the back, ready to stab any of your friends if they step out of... I mean, what?
Yeah, that's somewhere in the middle there. That where you got me is good.
Perfect. So you start walking back across the path, and you see ahead of you, there's a bit of a cliff on one side, descending down towards the river, which at this point it narrows and is just raging past. Whoever would be crazy enough to bring a ship up and down that river, you're not sure that they would be entirely sane. But apparently that's what happens. And then on the other side, you see a cliff face rising upwards, and there's the gatehouse that you pass through, wedged right in between them. And you approach the gatehouse, and you see the same people that you saw about almost an hour ago, kind of hanging around, lots of crossbows leaned and cocked and ready to rock up against the top walkway there. And as you approach the walkway, one of them kind of puts down their cards and turns. Oh, it's you again. Leaving so
Hey.
soon?
Possibly. unless you can tell us where the governor is, we've been looking for him. Just want to say hi. Thank him for doing all of this.
Like 4 of them start chuckling, and one of them in the who's playing cards with this leader, the 15-year-old leader of the guard at the gate, is kind of chuckles. This other one's a big, like, human guy who's probably close to 300 pounds. Most of it's probably muscle. Is just sitting there hunched over a little campfire, just boiling a pot of something. It's like, wants to talk to the governor. A good one coming into town. And the kid's like, yeah, you know what? Hey, prove yourself. You get the audience. But he doesn't, the governor doesn't have a lot of time for people who come in almost unvouched for.
But what if I told you I could do like some special things, like maybe help him out on a future sale because I can predict the future?
Well, hey, tell you what, why don't you tell me what my friend over there has in his hand, and maybe we'll talk. And the big guy kind of hunkers down, hiding his card. Hey, no fair.
I'm gonna telepathically talk to Gex and be like, hey, can you get to a spot where you can see his card?
I'll give it a whirl.
All right, Gex, I'm going to get you to do a stealth check followed by a perception check.
Nice.
Stealthing times.
Eli's just gonna be like, okay, and he's gonna put out his hand and pretend like he's like mumbling some random nonsense.
Sure. Do a performance check for me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Not enough performance checks.
Oh.
Oh
damn.
Nice.
That is a 22 on performance. The whole area gets quiet. All you hear is the crackling of the fire and the whimpering of the big guard guy who's like, now at this point, he literally takes the cards and shoves them in his, like, he's like, what? Like, starts pulling them closer and closer as he's intimidated by your sudden and mysterious ways as you begin humming a strange melody. And holy goddamn, Gex, do you want to tell the world what you just rolled, or should I?
It was a nat 20 on the stealth, so that's 32.
So none of you even know
That's
that
stealth for
33
days.
plus 13.
Gex
And
has.
perception check was a mediocre 13.
All right, so Gex has vanished into the tree line off to the right, with no one, not even the gods know where you are with 32. And you go creeping along, and you end up kind of climbing up a few stones here and a few stones there until, boom, you're suddenly up on the raised walkway, creeping in behind the various guards, just moving from one area to the next. But all of them are so enthralled with Elias humming and everyone else, this vague sense of mystery and magic is happening. And Gex gets right in behind the guy. You don't even see how he gets there. You just see it disappears over there, a couple of steps there, scooting past somebody over there without them noticing. And then the eyes poke up over the big guy's shoulders, look for the cards. And you know what? With that, normally 13 probably wouldn't do it, but I'm gonna say it's a lower threshold because so you get Gex, you get 3 out of the 4 cards, and you're pretty sure the last one was either a 2 or it was a 2 or a 7. That's the only one you're not sure of. If you had to place a bet, go ahead and roll a dice for me, evens or odds.
Okay, well, We'll narrow it down. We'll roll a d4 for that.
There you go.
It's a 1.
All right.
Odds.
I'm gonna re-roll that. It's out of my. Okay. So you're fairly certain. Well, which one do you think it is? A 2 or a 7? You tell me. Or actually, don't tell me. Tell Elias. You list the other 3.
Yeah, he's got he's got these 3 cards: a 10, a jack, a queen, and a probably either a 2 or a 7. Can't really see. A little bit's hiding.
You're fairly certain. You think you see a hint of an extra little diamond in there to make it at least above a 2, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So Eli, with his performance, he's like, all right, you have a 10. I'm gonna wait to see his reaction.
Play up the reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. A jack. A queen. I think you said. Right?
And he's holding the last card in his hand, just sweat beading on his brow, and a little curl on the edge of the smile of the captain of the guard, the 15-year-old near you.
As he kind of like moves his hands around, do I get a better view of it?
It's more than a 2. You know that it's more than a 2.
Yeah. I'll say actually I think it's a 7.
His eyes flicking back and forth between Elias and the card held up in front of him. Other
Eli
people
doesn't say it. He just kind of counts on his hands like he's like channeling the number, and then just stops at 7.
And like 3 other people rush in, almost elbowing Gex out of the way, and then Gex just disappears again and back, and a few seconds later he's back behind Isolde again, and other people jostle in around the big guy, and they take his cards and they're calling them out one by one, like, "Oh my gosh, it's true!" And the big guy's like, "It's how do you know these things?"
Okay, keep it quiet because I want to help you guys with this. And then if you guys keep making a big, fuss, then everyone's gonna know I can do it. And then, I can't help you guys as much.
And the guard, captain of the guard smiles and claps you on the shoulder, and then turns to the big guy and he's like, "And I fold," and drops his cards on the deck, and everybody cheers, and he gathers back his little pot of it's various coins, like mostly coppers and a couple silvers, some buttons, a couple of marbles.
So I've proven myself, and I would like to provide this talent to the governor.
Now, that is a rare gift you've got. On the morrow, I'm staying at the guardhouse. You come look for me. My name is Internet or Players. I needs me a name. I don't think I gave this person a name before.
Rafe.
Wraith?
Rafe. R-A-F-E. That's a thought. I'll just pop
Rafe. I'll take it.
I
Rafe.
actually like it.
Yeah, that's a good name.
I had no idea if you were suggesting a name or if you're like, no, I remember it. You definitely said it. Because any of us would have
No, you didn't have a name
remembered it.
before. I just...
that, ladies and gentlemen, is what a bluff check looks like. A deception
Yeah,
check.
I literally was just like, I could have been. Yeah.
Don't-
I'd believe
don't-
you if you told me.
Do not play poker with Gordon. All right,
Do
so
play with
Rafe.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, the name's Rafe. You come to the guardhouse tomorrow morning, and we'll go and I'll put in a good word and we'll see if we can get you in with the governor. I think.
Okay. Is there any way we can go tonight? Because danger could be imminent.
Ooh, just like continuing the performance.
he kind of nods like he understands, but then he's like, "Yeah, well, hey Tom, high five." And Tom like holds up his finger, gives him the finger, and then you can clearly see that there's one finger missing on Tom's hand, one of the guards amongst the various crew. It's like, yeah, Tom's the last guy that interrupted the governor's sleep.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for your time. I never got your name. I feel like that's
my name is Rafe. Rafe.
Nice to meet
It's
you.
twice. Rafe.
Fellow
Rafe.
Rafe.
Last name Rafe.
Creative.
First name Rafe. Yeah, I thought so. He seems really proud of that. And Darcy, just for you, I'm not using the voice changer for this. This was the one I used the voice changer for before, but you know, I will use it, but not this time. Anyway, let's keep going.
In my head, I kind of say to everyone, I was like, are you guys cool with waiting to tomorrow, or do you want to try and look for some courts?
I'm just following you right now. Whatever you
I
need.
mean, it's your call. It's your grandma.
Yeah, it's your timetable. I mean, I'm ready to move as fast as you want to. I know if it was my grandmother, I'd be right there. So, you got my support.
Yeah.
I mean, your
Like,
grandma did
guarantee.
nothing but help us out and be nice to us and feed us and let us, was
Gex has a
gonna let us
real
rest.
big grin on his face for a second. Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, she's a nice lady.
I'll
Gex
message
Techford,
back.
you do not kiss and tell. You're a gentleman through and through.
You can all just keep letting your imaginations go wild.
And
Please
they do for a
don't.
moment, and you're
Please actually
telepathically
don't.
bonded. Wait, here's I'm gonna make you roll for a second. I'm gonna get you to do what role would be like the dirty check? Internet players? Which character, like attribute or skill?
Nature.
That's a knowledge check.
I was
I
gonna say
accept
animal
that.
handling, but
Oh, all right. Nature or animal handling as you're all flashback to the talk for just a brief second, and then just see if you can keep it in. So I'm gonna get everybody to roll either nature
Oh, wait.
or animal
Survival.
handling.
Don't know what
Nature
this
or
roll is
animal
for.
I kind of like either animal handling or nature, although that is dirty. Dirty.
survival would work too.
Oh.
My animal handling is only 5, unfortunately.
Ooh. All right, so
24.
Sheena, 24.
Me
Believe
and
it or not,
Ashina
I'm
did
looking
okay.
for a low number here. Or
Oh, thank
Oh
God.
no.
Oh shit! If that's the case, I should have went the other way. Nature.
If you would have told us, I would have gone with nature too.
I rolled a 10. I rolled a 3.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
My
just
nature,
so
my
it's
nature, I don't get any bonuses.
well, not only
Yeah.
that, but it's like you all have that thought as Gex kind of plants that seed, and for a moment you flash to what that idea might be. Your imagination running wild, and those of you who are the most grounded in the natural or the fundamentals of life, the more you've seen it, you see the squirrels doing it in nature, and it's no big thing. It's totally natural, totally fine. You don't even dwell on it. You're just like, that's what when two squirrels love each other very much. So Ashina, it's no big deal. Elias, you're second lowest. That means your mind runs a little rampant. You filthy little half elf. I don't want to put words or images in your mind, but they start to seep out around the edges as you get hold of an idea, and it like comes into your mind very vividly, and immediately it gets shared partially
Oh, no.
in a muddled kind of way across the telepathic bond. Just a quick flash. It is old. Surprisingly, you keep it together pretty good with a 16. I mean, you were a sailor on a ship in very tight quarters for a little while. Like, you've seen some shit in your life. Some of it good, some of it bad. You've been from port to port a little bit. I don't know if you partook, but you definitely know. And it's nothing you dwell on too much at a 16. Ashina. Oh, sorry, that was her nature check with an 18. Either way, it's just like that's as natural as breathing. So it's you don't dwell on it and don't pass anything on. Gex with a 10. You can't help but have a couple of recollections of, let's just call it your top 5, quickly flash to your mind, but you don't share all the details or anything, but you barely, man, like some of you get a quick, like, weird blur from Gex of like, what the heck was that? However, Hilda, amongst all of you, is suddenly, and this is of course the med school student, the one who studied anatomy. Maybe this is why it was so damn distracting, because it completely distracts you. And I almost want to say it is somehow tied to you not finishing med school. I don't know how that works exactly. I will let you fill in that detail if you so choose. But there is something incredibly overwhelmingly passionately shared amongst the telepathic bond for a moment, and you're all just like, take that as you will.
There.
Oh, and by the way, cut to the people back at the inn for a moment, as you're all just, Talathar's taking his drink.
I don't think I'm in this role because I'm just like, what? I'm just
I know,
I'm looking
but
at
you
him
do
like,
share a
what the hell?
telepathic bond. And so you're just like, as these memories flood through your mind. Now, not everything has to get shared with everybody in terms of conversation, but for some reason, with a 3, it does. All right.
Probably just shoot up. What the
Hold
fuck
up.
you guys doing?
What the? Just
So-
one night in the embalming
where-
room.
When I was at school,
Okay.
Not with a body. No, me and another student.
There were corpses there, but they weren't involved.
We didn't need to know this.
And yet you
That's
do.
why there were so many more naked bodies than you would have assumed. They were not involved, guys. They
To
were
be
not
fair,
involved.
they didn't need the sheets. Not really. So borrowing them wasn't wrong. When you're
Eli's
dead, you
got
don't have to
his-
be. You're all just turning like
Yeah.
look at the awkward dwarf for a minute, the unassuming dwarf. I love how Bella's losing her mind right now. Okay, and
I'm broke. I'm
you-
totally broke.
you take a few breaths and you just like focus for a moment, and Rafe is like, you guys okay? I will take you to the governor tomorrow.
Yeah, we just had something bad to eat or something. I don't know. We should go and never speak of this again.
I feel like I missed something. What?
Oh, did Empty Wisdom make a roll for that as well, or no?
No,
What was he- oh,
she
okay.
just completely just missed what happened.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so
And
unfortunately,
the context, like you're like beating around the bush about a thing that happened, and she's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I was not here for that."
nice. So, unfortunately for the governor, you're gonna have to wait till the morning at least and ask for an audience. But you do have an introduction. So,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? Think about
I
that.
think
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna cut
Uh,
back to the other
yeah.
party, but keep going.
sorry.
Good idea.
I think we should head back. Let's not push our luck.
With the court's gathering.
Yeah, who knows how long it'll take us to find something, and we have to be well rested for tomorrow.
Balin, what was your Arcana roll? Actually, go ahead and do a nature roll of your own, or they don't have dungeoneering in this. You know what, I would let you roll a proficiency roll plus your wisdom, let's say, for having noticed, but you are proficient in stone and crafting. So I'm going to say go ahead and roll that for us there, Balin, and let me know what you got. And for a
So,
roll of this
Wisdom
type,
plus
you have
proficiency.
wisdom plus proficiency plus a d20, and I will say you have advantage on this because it's your jam. You make stuff.
Does the stonecraft give you like double proficiency or something?
It does.
Is
It gives you
Yeah,
advantage.
usually it doubles my proficiency.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's double, not advantage.
Oh yeah, do it that then. Yeah.
Also,
double
as
proficiency.
just like a player question, do you know like do the roll while I'm talking? Do you know the like a locate object? That sounds like something you might know as a wizard.
I don't think I took that one. So you didn't want me to roll with advantage, just double proficiency, right?
Just double proficiency.
Yeah. Okay. So then I got a 14.
You're pretty sure you saw a good quartz vein, but with all the you don't remember if it was. You don't even remember if it was. You're pretty sure it was after the purple worm, but that's as close as you got, and that's like a good 3-hour walk. So you kind of narrowed it down to that last leg, but you're not sure. It probably near the coast. Narrow it down to like hour and a half, maybe. Picking your way along the coast. Remember the one that everybody almost toppled over, and Elias kind of did.
Balin, not in character, but are you local to the island? I can't remember.
No, I'm from Illifarn. So I think
Yeah,
Todd
so I
you
think
said that's up in the
puts-
northern mountains, right?
I think that might make me the only local right now.
Yeah.
Because like I've lived on this island my whole life. I have a nature proficiency. Can I
Sure.
just like know if there might be things around that just I would happen to know as a local? That
Absolutely.
might
I will let you
put some-
roll a check.
Ballpark.
Probably nature with advantage, because you are local, as you say.
That's a 9. Never mind.
It helped you not at all.
No, I
nat
stayed
one.
to the monastery mostly. I just thought maybe.
Wish there's sure some shiny rocks.
There
You're
are
like,
some things on the island, and
What?
they get
It's a
brought in.
shame
We
you're
don't go
looking
out
for
'em.
fancy quartz and you're playing with this little stone that you picked up, and it's a really fancy quartz, and you're like, too bad we don't know where any is, and you throw it away.
I own no material possessions. Yeah.
All right. Let's. So you're headed back to the inn right now, or are you headed out into the wilds?
I think back to the inn.
Okay. Meanwhile, as you were back at the inn, Talithar, Lesrin, and Ashina are holding down the fort. The bartender woman kind of comes over and gives you your keys and gets you to pay for the rooms. I think that'll be a gold per room, and the meals on the house, but the drinks are extra. So let's round up to like for all your friends who just walked out on you. That sucks. Let's round that up to a nice even 8 gold. Dine and dash.
No, I was thinking about that as we walked out, that we didn't pay for anything.
And Gex was
Say-
like,
I kind of like pause for a moment, and then I pay her the 8. And I'm trying to intuit like what would be an appropriate tip without tipping too much.
I mean, it looks like she muttered something about 8 and 2 silver. We'll round down. So she rounded down for you, but it was going to be a little over 8. So rounding up would not.
So
be.
I mean,
I flip
Yeah,
her 2
so-
extra gold.
all right. Well, I pay her 8, and I guess actually Shara's paying
Ashina,
her.
yeah,
Sheena.
she takes the 10 gold, tucks it in her little apron thing, gives you a curt nod, but it's a respectful like, all right. And as she's turning around, she's like, one last thing, tip on the house, ready? Here's an extra drink for you. And also, for this, she gives extra drinks to everybody. Lesrin's just like, oh, yeah. And she leans in towards Talithar, is like, you might want to keep your cloak closed over that armor of yours. Don't know why I'm suddenly British. You want to keep that cloak closed. Or take the armor off, whatever suits your fancy. And then she turns around and goes back to her job.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
She's
kind of
awful.
like trying not to like be too shiny in the plate mail.
She's awful nosy.
Yeah, well, everyone here is eyeing us.
I
Wonder if I'm gonna
know.
have to kill someone before going to bed next time.
Lestrin kind of leans over and goes, I do not have a nose. Not like
Just
you.
relax, Lestrin. Just relax, Lestrin.
It's arranging lodging, Lestrin, and then we'll find travel back to and I just kind of say lowly Tasfarel.
Yeah, and he gives you a nod and kind of rearranges around the neck that the necklace that they wear, and kind of pulls the furred cloak over it a bit more. But you know, you've seen it. You know what's under there. It's the dragon necklace that they wear.
Yeah, and I have like one hand close to my sword. Just Ashina has more properly alerted me, so I'm kind of on guard.
Absolutely. All right. So the evening goes on. The bars are pretty good.
I do feed Rainbow Goodberry while I'm sitting here.
Absolutely. And Rainbow just gobbles it down like it's the act of officially coming into this world is exhausting. And in those circumstances, you only barely, because of great rolls, manage to keep it alive. So it takes a little bit of coaxing. Can I get you to do an animal handling check? But not for that.
Where is it? Animal handling. There you go.
With a 19, absolutely. Rainbow begins to respond. It takes a little bit of coaxing, but definitely gets hold of it. And once they get it in their mouth, they greedily gobble down the good berry. In fact, you can actually give it 2. It'll take 2, which is a lot of food for a tiny little thing, but still growing.
No.
While we're waiting, I'm actually
you have to kind of mush it into almost like a drink. Like you squeeze the pulp out of it to help, and then kind of drinks it on down, and then swallows the husk once it's a bit stronger. Sorry, Talithar, go ahead.
While I'm waiting, I'm going to actually just use one of my divine sense, just to see.
Sure. Tell me what kinds of creatures that senses again.
The presence of strong evil registers on my senses, so until the end of my next turn, I know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of me. That's
all right.
Not behind cover.
You see me.
You definitely get the sense of celestial blood in the otherwise mostly human-looking Azamar across from you. You can sense the Fey being nuzzled in amongst your cloaks. The little tiny fairy dragon, very strongly. What's the range on that?
At 60 feet. So I'm just, it's almost like a,
whatever you can
see.
It's not within 60 feet, but there is a sense of strong, it's almost that distracting stench that you, on the edge of your senses. It's not within range. There is something odd. If you had to guess, like pretty far downwind is the only way you can kind of register. Like you were tracking a beast, a dead body. It's not undead per se, but it's a stench of malice. But it is extremely out of your range. But there has been a lingering sense nearby. Can I get you to do a perception check for me?
Sure. Oh, also, I would detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, like the house. Perception check. Okay. Ooh, nat 20, 25.
Nice.
Rolling in the 20s. All right. For 25. You had this sense of unnatural, fetid death, and not undead, but it smells strongly like death and evil. And it's outside of your range, but you're like, wait, where is it that I'm picking that up from? And you look around the room, and it's like you even have to get up at one point to kind of take a few steps to like hotter, colder it a little bit. And you're searching around, and your eye falls on this kind of shorter, dowdy-looking kind of guy, wearing a leather apron in the far corner. He's got big, thick traveler clothes and boots, kind of like the boots are still muddy from travel, with this thick kind of reddish mud. And you can see their traveling cloak is on the table, on the chair beside them. And they're just looking around the room and just kind of staring into their cup, just like turning it. And with a 25, you see tears in this almost untouched drink. He's been sitting there for a good 5 minutes, and you're just registering now because he's so kind of off on his own. And you see tears have stained his cheeks of the mud a little bit, and he's just sitting there. The stench isn't emanating from him, but it clings to him. He's the one that brought it in, but it's faint, like someone who stepped in dog shit a long time ago, and it's almost worn off. It's just a slight linger on them. But they themselves are not the source. But that's why you can sense that, and that's only because you got the natural 20. Also, I want to know exactly what kind of chicken or goat you sacrifice to roll 20 in order to get these kinds of rolls. I'm just curious. All right. And right about then is when you get the flash from the party, in some cases quite literally, and then you get the word. We're coming back. What do you want to do? Ashina, Talthar.
You know what? I'm gonna just telepathically mention this quickly. Something smells off with this one. Like he carries death with him, but is not. Just stay with us,
Who's
friend.
this one?
So I'm gonna go get another drink because I got extra drinks. I'm gonna actually like go up. I'm gonna basically waltz over. He's not too far away, right? He's just in the same room.
Yeah, he's on the same level as you and kind of tucked in behind the bar. Not behind the bar like working there, but around in a bit of a corner that's a little bit behind where the bar kind of wraps around.
Is he a worker or a traveler?
It looks like he works here, but travel is part of his work. Is probably what you gather at a glance. Like he looks very at home. People seem to recognize him. He even gets a couple of nods and waves in the 2 minutes or so that you spend. And he
so I'm gonna approach him with a drink, and I'm just gonna basically go up and say, "Hey, friend, new here. I think you work here. Just would like a little advice on this place." I just kind of interrupt him from his reverie.
Yeah, well, I've been here a bit. But sorry. Who are you? Do a persuasion check for me.
Okay.
Roll for talking to people.
We're talking.
This is how I feel every time I leave my house. Go out in public, talk
24.
to the grocery clerk. Damn. All right.
Well, I'm better at talking.
Wow.
Talking is your thing, you damn paladin.
I'm a good talker, you know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our feelings.
That's a good one.
That's so cute.
You're not from around here, are you? Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
does it show?
You want it? I mean, I'm feeling a little. I'm okay, but I'm not.
Yeah. I could. You know what? I could sense that a mile away, or at least 60 feet away. Why so glum, chum? And I just give him a drink.
And he kind of looks at you little bit befuddled, but it appears like he's been having a night, and he's just I mean, I guess if I tell you, you can't really make fun of me for it because you don't know me.
Right, exactly. I might even help you out.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think it's anything. I was just wrapping up at the Little Dock. I'm a carpenter, and I was working on a couple of the one ship that's over there. I was working on that, and I was making my way back down to the inn, and I mean, it shouldn't have been a thing. I've done that trip dozens of times. It's not like it's freaky or anything. And I got this really creepy feeling as I rounded a bend. It was really bizarre. And I mean, it's ridiculous. I swear to God, I saw a buffalo.
Buffalo?
And then you see the tears kind of come unbidden to his eyes again. He's like, I don't know why. It's a smell. Oh, I got this stench in my nose, and you ever get a smell in your nose and you just can't get it out. And I just ran. I ran all the way back, and the guards, they just laughed at me. I mean, it's probably nothing. It's like a weird long-necked buffalo, and it looked in my direction, and I had to get out of there. Do you ever have you ever see a cow talk to you?
You know what? Just a day ago, some crazy shit happened, and something like what you just said actually was over on the other side of the island. So I'm not gonna laugh at you.
Really? You smelled it too?
Yeah, and I felt something. That's why I could tell something might have.
You saw the long-necked buffalo too?
Oh, I sensed something. I didn't see something. I sensed something.
Maybe
smelled it like a bad smell.
Yeah, it's worse.
Can you sketch it? I can get you something to write down.
I'm good with my hands, but I'm not much of a drawer. Let me just roll to see if this guy's got any artistic talent. Roll for artistic talent. Also like my life. And
roll for painting.
Roll for done painting. He sketches a stick figure buffalo with an incredibly long, elongated tail. Almost like if you took a brontosaurus, shrank it down, covered it in fur, and gave it demon eyes. That's kind of what he draws. And it is almost nonsensical. And he's got these little wavy lines coming off it like stink. I saw it way up on the top of the hill on the ridge. Blind Man's Pass. And
Blind Man's Pass. Okay.
Blind Man's Pass. It's just if you're going out past the Little Dock. I wasn't going that way, but I have to walk that way, and it was a long way off. I could smell it. So it was like, yeah, you smelled a dead body before, yeah?
Yeah.
It was like somebody stuffed
Someone
me
might
in
even
it.
killed.
He's not sure how to take that. It kind of phases him for a second. All right, and that's what you get from this guy, and he tells you his name. Anybody else want to give me a name? I'm terrible at names. Interweebs? Friends at the table? Clem? Clem.
Yeah, C-L-E-M.
Clem.
Unless you guys,
All right.
I'm just throwing names out, guys.
This is no, it's not good. I need a last
That's what
name
it's all about.
from everybody else, not Gordon, for the last name.
In time.
Diddle Hopper.
In time. I heard in time
Clem
first.
Diddle Hopper.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I actually thought that. held up. It's like,
Clementine.
And he shakes your hand, and it's that like far too intense, like he's rattling your plate mail, kind of shakes a bit as he's like, thank you. Appreciate the drink.
Yeah.
What's your
no
name?
Problem. Talitha.
Talitha. All right. My name's Clem. Last name's in Tyndon. Everybody makes fun of me around here. I'm glad you believe me.
Yeah, I'd say stay away from that. Blind man's pass for now.
Yeah. I go. If I have to go back, do you think you might be able to go back to the little ship? I mean, they only keep one little ship out there. It's almost fixed up. It's almost ready to go.
Yeah. And where's it going?
I don't know, but it's Captain, and he says a name, and I have to check my notes for it. Go ahead and do a retroactive perception check. Either Ashina, who is busy probably listening into some of this conversation, I'm guessing, not to be too presumptive, but also Gordon, you can go ahead and do a retroactive perception check.
Perception check.
Perception.
Perception.
And about now, everybody else comes back into the bar. It's only a couple minutes.
Ooh, just a 9.
Making up for that. All right, you don't. I mean, you remember the name, but it doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what? If you need to go back there tonight, you let me know.
Oh, I'm not going back there tonight, but maybe in the morning, if you're around.
You let me know. We're staying here actually. You let me know.
Right, I'm just getting a drink, calm my nerves. And he looks down at the drink he hasn't even touched and kind of suddenly sees it almost for the first time. It's like, oh, and you've already put another one in front of him. And he's just like, oh, but thank you. And he busies himself trying
Cheers.
to drink both of them and take the edge off his nerves. And that sense of death and danger, you can definitely tell is clinging to him just a little bit. All right. Everybody else is back in the bar. What do you want to do? Gonna go for...
I mean, I'll update everyone that, like, I'm sure we're gonna update. We've already been updating each other, but when I sit back down, I'll update them on kind of. I said something, met this guy. He sensed something. He says it looked maybe its shape changed to look like an animal, like a buffalo. But I'll just kind of remind everyone that there's more than just Hoodrick we have to keep an eye out for. Right, Eli?
Yep.
So, whatever that was might be following us, or something like it is following us.
All right. So, you're going to do a short rest, long rest, head out now. Think about that as we go take a quick 5-10 minute break, or do we need to stop now for people? It's almost 12.
I gotta stop at 12, so I can keep going until 12, and then I'm out.
Okay, that's cool.
Good.
I'm doing a long rest. Getting
Yeah.
in my room.
All right, so you guys go to the room. You post a watch, because in this burg, unless you don't want to. Anybody want
No,
to?
we're posting watches.
Okay.
Yep.
Empty,
We
empty actually doesn't
three
want to
girls
stay
are in
in
the
the
same room. We three
And-
girls are all in the same room.
Yep.
Empty doesn't want to stay in the inn. She like literally has no money and has never purchased a thing. I know people are choosing to pay for her and stuff and blah blah blah. She's just like, oh no, it's fine. I don't think she even like talks to anyone about it. She just goes outside and finds a place that she can like meditate and feel safe.
Interestingly, part of this place, because it's built on all these different levels, you find a little relatively easy to find. I love the dinosaur somebody drew on the map, or whatever that long neck buffalo.
It's a long necked buffalo with a long tail.
It's beautiful.
It's terrible looking.
It's beautiful.
I gotta show that to the stream now. There you go. I love it. Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
know how to draw a demon eye,
picture
so it's just a
perfect.
spiral.
So
That's what he drew.
you are all in this inn on a couple of different floors. Was the only way they could do the, I'm assuming 3 rooms. But just on the top of this roof, kind of a ping, you actually find a spot not too far down from one of the windows. You could actually kind of post yourself up on that pretty comfortably there, Empty, and have a bit of outdoor space that's close enough. Or you can
Okay,
go further
if
into the
that's-
woods by yourself, if you'd like.
Did you say I was up on the roof, or that I am like still
You could-
outside the building?
You're technically, because this thing is built ramshackle, the lower floor juts out a little further than the next floor up. And so there's a little punter of a roof there, almost like a porch roof, but it's actually not over a porch. So you can easily be on that, which is overhung by a bunch of trees. And then the cliff going up is these straggly, massive trees kind of reaching out over the cliff, kind of hiding this whole little section
That
of
sounds
the
good.
village. So you're
Yeah,
still
that sounds
very
great.
close to everybody else. All right, and with that,
Excellent.
we'll lock down a long rest. Mark it down. In the morning, you eat. You sleep in a leisurely. You talking noonish? What are you doing? Or are you getting up crack of dawn? What do you want?
Oh, early. I have that appointment.
All right.
Yeah.
Morning. Yeah, I probably want to check on Clem.
Mm-hmm.
At
He's
one,
up early, but like is meditating for a lot of the morning, so may or may not hear
So-
people.
Empty's
moving
actually the
and stuff.
first one to notice Jimmy coming back from the sketchy tavern. He comes stumbling back a little bit after dawn, drunk as a skunk, singing a song with this guy. He's leaning, the two of them singing down as they're stumbling down the way towards this inn, and it's shh. They knock stuff over. Oh, we gotta be quiet, and the two of them are just laughing and total. I mean, the baker is sitting there kneading bread, looking at them like they're dumb, and they're just like, "Go see my friends." And Jimmy takes them up, and eventually meets up with all of you at one of the levels of the common area or in your rooms. Probably in a common area because you wouldn't know which rooms you're in. He's like, "Hey, I got my friend. This is my friend." And he says a name, but it's so badly slurred with drink that you can't quite pick it out. Except Talithar. It's the same name.
Oh, the captain. Oh.
The captain of the ship over on Little Dock. And again, it's like, "It's my friend, blah, 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 blah." And, but it is the same syllables and sounds. And so Captain Blah Blah is, and they are incredibly sloshed, the two of them. Like, fall down giggling, drunk at like 7 in the morning. The rest of you are up and feeling a
They're
lot.
not swinging at each other.
Sorry, what was that, Donnie?
I said, at least they're not swinging at each other.
This is true. It is a good thing not to pick a fight at 7. All right, so next morning, you gather yourselves, and what do you want to do?
Right. So Captain Blah Blah, who's passed out, he runs the ship by the Little Dock, by where Clem was saying he saw Crazy Demon Buffalo. So we might want to check it out. But I know, Eli, you want to go with the governor too.
Yep. So, do we split again? I don't think I will need a lot of people to come with me to the governor.
The whole water buffalo situation seems pretty intense. I'll come by, maybe lend some of the paladin, holy divine sensing and attack for whatever darkness this probably is.
I'm pretty good at killing things sometimes. Once in a while.
Just the modifiers.
And you kind of sensed and hit it too, right? So
Fizzle?
Sorry.
Right?
You've now called Empty back in to the area where breakfast is served.
Didn't you hit something that took out Eli? I'm wondering if it's that or something like that.
I don't remember that. There was a buffalo?
You get a flash when he mentions this, though, of that sense of cold, absolute cold, radiating up your arm. But it wasn't your arm, it was your astral form. But that's just a quick flash. And that's the other side of you.
Yeah, you see this, like, confused look go across Empty's face, like, it's like deja vu, but she doesn't remember it. Does that make sense? Right? Like, I have this memory like I should remember this thing, but I don't remember why I know it. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking, Eli, you should definitely not go alone, though. Like, we should have a couple people go with you, and maybe the rest of us check out this ship, this whatever this thing, and maybe do some investigation.
Lesrin kind of bends over and scoops up Jimmy, and like does the whole half fireman's carry, like half drag the drunk, and Jimmy's like, I just need a little. And then Lesrin points. Someone take that one. And points to the captain.
Okay. I feel like Hilda and Isolde are going with you. So anybody else want to go with Talithar and the rest can come with me?
I'll go with Talithar. Does that make sense?
Alright, so I guess I'll take Ashina, Balon, and Empty with me.
Alright. So the four of you head out of the inn, go across to the guard's post.
Before I go, I'm gonna make sure to cast telepathic bond again.
Oh, nice.
The
yeah.
intense staring. Early in the morning.
Eyes.
So sorry, I was away for a couple secs. What are the
No
two
worries.
groups going off for?
You see the governor.
Governor and
See
Long
the
Neck
governor
Buffalo.
and both those
Team
sound
Governor?
interesting.
Team Buffalo. Spooky Death Buffalo.
Is Clem around?
Balin would ask the party, where do you think I would fit in best? Knowing my
Governor.
talents. I'm here to serve you guys. So where do you think you'd like me?
Maybe go with.
Here's a buffalo.
Maybe go with Eli.
Off to see the governor? Okay.
Like
Sounds good.
I think you guys are trying to get the crystal right, so it's you two with support from Sheena and Empty. Like we may not even end up in a fight. So like the other four of us, we're just checking things out. Nothing could go wrong.
All right. So
What could possibly go wrong?
let's do Team Governor before we run out of time, and hopefully we'll get the other part in there. But Team Governor goes off. You don't see Clem, by the way, Talithar. He's probably at his house right now, but he gave you a pretty descriptive map towards his place in town, and he was pretty thankful that you were giving him a shoulder to lean on there for a little bit. So Team Governor goes across the way, kind of knocks on the guard post and waits, and then the door opens as this. You actually see a frickin' minotaur standing in front of you. You're just like, and he goes, what do you want?
Good morning, Sir Beast. I'm here to see Rafe.
Rafe. He turns the head, and in this like, Rafe, you got a visitor. This kind of, it's not a huge minotaur by any means, not like 8 feet tall. He's probably only about like 6.5 feet tall, but the horns make him seem bigger. After a little while, Rafe comes down and it's like, thanks, big guy. Hey, right, I didn't think you'd be up this early. God damn. I mean, it's a teenager, right? He looks like you dragged him out of bed to do this. It takes a little while for them to get down, and hair's all tousled.
I telepathic to everyone in the link, like, is that the buffalo?
No. Do we see?
You can send images by telepathic link, sure.
Do they charge extra to send images?
Yes, they do. Yeah, it's fine until you reach your
Every
cap,
message
and then they charge you
send
triple.
is excruciating pain for Eli.
It does not resemble a long neck buffalo. It resembles a standard minotaur in like studded leather armor.
Maybe they thought the whole body was like its neck and it was standing next to something. I don't know.
So after a little while,
could
Rafe's
I-
like, finally ready. Go ahead, Balin.
Could I give the Minotaur one of my little stone crafts? Like I've got, those little mazes that are little pieces of wood and you can like move a ball through it? Maybe I've got like a little stone maze I can give him or something, like a little toy.
Absolutely. So you pass him this, you get his attention. He's like busy, kind of trying to get something out from between his teeth there, and he looks at whoa, whoa. What do you want?
Guardian, I have a gift for you. I know that your people are quite fond of solving puzzles and mazes, so I have this. You might appreciate it.
And he picks it up gingerly between two fingers. This tiny, relatively small for his size, little stone-worked maze, and he begins to just flick it, and immediately, ooh, thank you. And he kind of
very welcome.
clomps you on the head clumsily, but not in a disrespectful kind of way. Thank you. I'm going to need a name for a Minotaur Guardsman.
Snort.
Bob.
Bob Snort.
Clavis.
Bob Snort.
Bob Snort. Bob Clavis Snort. Bob Clay Snort. Bob Clay Snort. Bob Clay Snort. At your service, good dwarf.
Balin, the clan Iron Eater.
Do we need to trade something? You give me, I give you, yes?
It is a gift, but if you would like to reciprocate, that it's not required. But
Wait here! And he goes running up into his, up the stone staircase, up to his, presumably where the barracks is. And he's back in a couple of minutes with a sack, which is kind of sluicing unevenly to one side, and passes it over to you, puts it in your hand. And he kind of claps you on the shoulder this time. It's like, thank you. And goes back to playing with the maze.
Thank you very much, Bob Cliff Snort.
Inside the sack, do you look?
Yeah, I look inside the sack.
You see some gathered flowers and herbs and mushrooms. And do a medicine check for me.
Okay. Can you roll a d20 for me? Because I'm on my phone right now, actually. Alright, I got a +2 on medicine.
Have a bag full of semi-moldy mushrooms and some weird pressed flowers, and it kind of smells a little bit like somebody took some Robitussin and spilled it in there. But with a 2 on the medicine roll, you don't really know what good it is.
Okay. Do any of the mushrooms look edible? As a dwarf, I'm quite fond of eating mushrooms.
I mean, yes, maybe. Some of the nicer ones, they look probably fine to eat. They don't look like the poisonous ones you're aware of. However, do you want me to tell you what it is as a player, or just keep that to myself?
Yes. Keep it to yourself, yeah.
Okay, I'll keep it to myself. All right. Coming up next, after a little while, Rafe is finally ready as a teenager, getting ready. Takes you out into the sunshine, guides you over to this tower that's kind of perched on a little rickety island in between the two. I think I'm moving the wrong group, but anyway, in between the two, like right in the middle of the river, is this little. Hold on, I gotta find it. There's various walkways and bridges that cross the island, cross the river, but he takes you across to one of the nicer looking bridges, and there's a bit of an outpost tower that's part mansion, part outpost, and and the buffalo comes with you apparently, because I dragged them all. So whoever's in that group, I know not everybody's there, but you all see this tower / mansion on the edge of the of this one little outcropping in the river. and Rafe has a few words with one of the guards, and after a few minutes, you're escorted inside, and the place is pretty nicely accoutremated. Like, there's some money in this place, like collected tapestries and all kinds of adornments and art kind of piled up, some of it framed beautifully and up on the walls, some of it literally rolled in a corner. And it's various bits of nice furniture, all very mismatched, like a yard sale gone weird and expensive. And there's a butler, a honest to God butler, who is fully, like, looks like he's like serves the queen, but in amongst all these people busy. And you see them kind of say, yes, and what may I do for you? What may his lordship do? What may the governor do for you?
I was wondering if I could speak to him shortly. I have
You may
a
speak to the
proposition
governor.
for him.
You may speak with her, yes.
All right.
What is this about?
A deal.
Is this a... And the person looks at Rafe, and Rafe's like, it's gonna want to hear this. They're gonna want to hear this. And the butler kind of raises an eyebrow, and then kind of brings their arms out from behind. And you see the hand crossbow that they were holding ready to fire, and like tosses it on a tray on the side, and then picks up a different tray, this one with a fancy tea on it, and says, I will return shortly with word as to whether you will have an audience. I trust you know that it is not wise to waste the governor's time.
I'm aware.
Good. And you can see they pick up a wicked looking dagger. Like, it's got the Chris thing going on and everything. Like, puts it on the tray with the tea, just in case. And then goes walking off into these really ornate doors, and they close. And you're waiting there for a while. And then after a while, the door opens. And you see the same butler kind of come back out and says, you may have 2 minutes. Please be brief. And that is all. Good luck. You go on in, and you're in a very nice sitting room. Windows all along the one side overlooking the river. Beautiful, beautiful room. And in there you see a woman probably in her 40s, a little bit human, just a little bit human. Actually,
Happens.
It does happen in D&D. You actually do see 2 tiefling horns, but otherwise there's no real sign. And on the turn, you see her kind of turn. Yes, you've got 2 minutes. Rafe, what is this about? And Rafe goes on and says, actually, it's this one said they could help you. They have a gift. A gift? Good. I like gifts. You can put it on the pile over there and then get out of my sight.
Can't exactly do that. Before I continue, good morning, Miss the Governor, Governess. I apologize for the nomenclature. It's kind of an
I
etiquette thing for
intentionally
me.
keep it a bit vague because some of the peons
Very
don't
smart.
always show respect when they find out it's me. They learn quickly.
Very intuitive. So I'll keep it short. I could possibly help you in some ventures because I can see the future. But in order to provide this gift to you, if you have a crystal ball I can use for a spell, because someone I know is in love very much is in danger.
And she kind of adjusts her glasses on her face, kind of look at you over her glasses, kind of these horn rim looking ones. She's almost like a badass tiefling not barbarian, librarian, but in very fancy clothes. She's an exercise in contradictions. Very fancy clothes, open weaponry on the table, just within reach. A lovely tea in front of her, reading a scroll, and yet a gleam of very serious danger in her eye. And she's kind of looking you up and down. I'm going to need you to do a persuasion or deception check for me. Whichever one you prefer.
Nice.
23.
23. She looks at you. So you can tell my future, hey boy. All right, I'm interested. If your gift is true, what do you need from me?
A crystal ball.
I might. She looks over towards the butler, and he kind of gives a curt nod and turns on his heel and walks out. I'll see what I can do. Your gift. Are we talking parlor trick? Or could you see if a venture might work in my favor?
The latter. But before I provide the gift to you, I need to make sure you have the crystal ball. It's kind of of real importance.
Yeah, well. How about this? I need you to tell me about a man. Can you do that sort of thing? Look in on him.
I would need the crystal ball.
Good. But mine comes first, besides whatever you need to do.
No, like I genuinely need the crystal ball to do what you're asking me to do.
All right. We all need our tools of the trade, do we not?
Yeah.
And she like moves her hand just casually, just like this, and then you see a dagger just almost appear in her hand. And she just takes it, busy cleaning one of her really long, painted, like immaculate fingernails. But she's busy cleaning it. In a few seconds, the butler comes back with the crystal, comes in with a tray, and on top of it is a cloth. And underneath the cloth, you can see the landmark shape of a pretty good-sized crystal ball, probably the size of about 2 fists, a little bigger than 2 fists together. Comes walking, puts it on in the table in front of you. And she motions you to come forward, and the rest of you are all just like, is anybody else doing anything? Who's there with Elias?
I'm
Nah.
just standing in the back.
I was hoping maybe I could roll like a history check on some of the artifacts that she's got around the room, see if anything seems particularly ancient or maybe even like of dwarven origin.
Sure thing. Go ahead and roll a history check for us while you're doing that. It's not
So could
technically.
you do the D20 for me again?
Oh yeah, totally.
And on history, I have a +6 or a +10 if it's related to stonework.
It's not stonework in this case, so you get a total of 19, which is pretty good. There's definitely some art here that belongs in a museum, and it was probably in a museum not that long ago, judging by some of the like semi-broken frames that some of them are sitting in or near. Yeah, there's quite a lot of value in this room. If you had to put a guess at it, probably in the ballpark. Like nothing super famous, like not the Mona Lisa per se, but there's some art that you're pretty sure you've seen pictures of in books. Oh, sorry, Tihmily. Thanks. We'll pass on anything.
Anything that looked dwarven in origin?
Not. Well, actually, hold on. That one, you look up on the wall and you do see part of a broken stonework piece. So that's what I said. There was no stonework, but I take it all back. You see, it was probably once part of a relief of a massive mural. You see part of that depicting some ancient dwarven activity that is noteworthy and probably worth a good like 5,000 gold on a ballpark, just sitting on a shelf, leaning back against the wall, probably about 10-15 feet up on the back wall behind her, on the opposite wall of all these windows. So she motions
Okay.
towards Elias. Well, so you're saying you could look in on someone for me?
I would need a name and preferably some sort of item belonging to him.
She snaps, and the butler produces it from behind as though anticipated. Pulls out, it's a wooden toy sword. And it looks a little bit old, well-worn, well-loved, chipped in a few places. And probably about 3/4 of the size of a real short sword, and passes it over to her, and she holds it in the hand that's not holding the dagger, contemplating it for a second, makes up her mind and passes it over towards you, and sits across from you. I would like to watch if that's possible.
Yep.
The name
All right.
is Brethal.
Okay.
It's spelled kind of Brethal.
Okay.
I
just
need to
double
know,
check something.
are they alive?
Yep.
Are they well? If you can tell me where, I will give you anything you want in this room. Even him. Points to the butler, and he kind of winces a little bit.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I go ahead and channel that, and I perform scrying.
All right. It takes some time to do, and the curtains are pulled across the kind of lessen the influence of the sunbeams pouring in the windows, and the whole area kind of flickers with candlelight and lantern light, candelabra light. But as you begin, it begins to dim.
We fade to black and end the session.
And we can, if that's a good time. And you perform scrying on Brethal with the sword, and it begins to hover in the air above. At first, it almost pulls itself like a direction, like a divining rod, and then it snaps in a direction and then hovers a good foot above the scrying ball that you have, and works a bit like a compass needle, pointing due east from here, and your vision in through the crystal ball, swirling across the seas, in through this really big town. Like, you've seen reasonably big towns at some point in your life, probably. This place makes them all look like pauper. Like, this town is incredible. You're pretty sure you see a wagon fly by. You're like, what the hell was that? And like stone-lined streets with like almost pure marbles looking stones up through various hallways and into what, honest to God, looks a bit like a castle, but there's like almost the whole neighborhood is castles, and into one particular castle, and you see this man, about 20, standing there behind another. The further away from them you see is, it gets blurry, but you can see that there's a young man, tiefling horns kind of curling up behind, long black hair kind of tied back in a kind of semi-formal looking clothes, but armor, not a uniform, but a nice, good studded black leather armor, cloak trimmed with fur, doing pretty well for themselves. And they're standing at attention, kind of just looking over the shoulder of somebody who's got really broad shoulders, leaning and scribbling and writing something. And they're kind of nodding and paying attention to this for a little while. And I believe they'd get a saving throw, yes?
Yep.
What's the DC?
It would be, where's my, I believe it's 17.
Damn, they only got a 15. So you glean the approximate area and massive town. With a history check, you might be able to name the town, or the city, I should say. They look to be they're healthy. They seem confident and focused, as though they're making their way in the world. And the scry ends back across the seas, back into the room, and the sword clatters to the tabletop in front of you. And you look over it, and you can see the governor leaning forward, clutching the dagger straight down, staring at the crystal ball in which this vision was just revealed. And she lets out a breath. And she moves her hand, and the dagger's gone again, tucked away wherever she had it before, and she kind of composes herself. All right, then. A deal's a deal. Scrying ball is yours.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tomorrow I can come back and try again.
See that you do.
And I'm just gonna bow and wave goodbye and say thank you.
She nods towards the butler, and he gives a little curt nod, turns, and she, with 11 on your history check, you don't know the name of the town. You know it was a big city. It doesn't come to you whether that might be. But so you can't name the place. You don't get the bonus. But you do get a crystal ball worth 1,000 gold, and her thanks as the head of the smuggler town. And the butler leads you out into the foyer, and gives a little nod and passes you a key. And there's a little tag on it with a number. It's like, in case you need a place to stay, sir.
Thank you. And I'm gonna tip him, I guess, like 2 gold. That might be like mean, but
that is not necessary. He looks. It's like you just tried to hand him a dead rat. He's just like, not necessary.
Just a $200 kit, you know, not a biggie.
Okay, well, it's the thought that counts. Hopefully, I've gotta go.
And you all make your way out of there with the item that you need, and feeling pretty good about yourselves. And as you head out, the party begins to fade to black, and the butler turns back and gives a nod, and like 3 shadows detach themselves from the wall. And they start to kind of just track, keeping an eye on you as you all leave and wind your way back to wherever you go.
It's not something I would have noticed.
Go ahead and roll a perception check. You were, so go. The whole party can go ahead and roll perception checks.
Where the hell is it?
Yeah, I feel like that's something I might pick up on. I'll give it a shot. Nope, 13.
I got a 16.
I guess that means I can roll.
I got a nat 1. I know
with a
nothing.
nat 1. Oh yeah, you don't see anything. Steve, Gex get a 7. Actually, Gex, you were busy casing the place, so you were. Did you pick anything up? I'm just curious.
I thought the 4 of us were on the other.
Oh, you're on the other team.
Yeah, we're on the other
Never
group.
mind. That's fine.
I was on the other group as well, so should I not have rolled?
No,
You said everybody.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. That's
Okay.
You guys. No wonder you're getting 6s and 7s to see the tail. You're nowhere near there. You don't see any tail.
That's where it makes sense.
However,
That's a lot.
Elias, as you're walking down, down across the bridge, back across, there's a moment where a cart comes by, just kind of pulled by somebody. There's not that many horses in this area, but a cart goes by, and you kind of sidestep the cart about maybe 5 seconds before you need to, and you look over and you wait for the person to sidestep the cart behind you because you just know with a 23, you're like, yep, I know there's a guy behind us 15 paces back, and there they are. And you see them step around the cart, just a nondescript human wearing, leather armor and just everyday clothes over kind of on it. Short sword at the side, not paying much attention to anything, but you see them look at you and you lock eyes with them, and they know they've been made, and you've made them. They're about to get hit by
I was looking for him in the room. When I was standing in the room, I was actually standing back looking.
Absolutely, and you got a 16, and believe it or not, this is on the way out. They didn't appear until you guys were about to exit the whole establishment. But with a 16, you pick up, you think you see a tail, and then one of them takes a left. You're like, oh, I guess they're not actually following us. But you only managed to spot one of them, and Elias, you spot the second one. And then you lock eyes with them, and they're like, you see them visibly disappointed and turn and walk away. And then that's it. You head back to your inn. And now, I'm going to say, been going a little while. Are we stopping for the night? Is this a good stop point? Is that the idea? Or do you want to keep going a little more? I got a little more gas in the tank if you want. Otherwise, we can stop.
Let's see where this key goes.
Okay. I was going to say we should probably end because I think Gord has to go.
Yeah, Gord's got to go. And I got
Yeah, we
to
need
start
to
too.
call it.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think it's a good spot to cut off so that the group that went to the ship.
Yeah,
behind the
little ship.
long
Or yeah,
neck
little
buffalo.
We can
dock.
pick it up next. Yeah,
Little
next
dock.
We'll pick up at
with
Little
the other
Dock
group.
as you begin to come back together. Remind me you have your mind link is on. So if you want to share messages back and forth, you can do that at the beginning of next round. And thanks very much, everybody. I do need an episode name. Episode name for tonight. And Internet, you're welcome to jump in on episode naming as well. I'm happy to hear from the players. What do you think tonight's episode should be called? We had the Minotaur, we had the weird buffalo, we had Clem, we had Rafe, the governor. We had you all had it is amazing what med school students can do to each other when they're motivated. And in a way it's wonderful, but also really graphic.
Psychic displays of affection.
That's kind of the theme.
Yeah. How to handle
Shadows
crystal
of the
balls.
mind.
Sorry, what was that, Donnie?
Shadows of the mind.
Ooh, I kind of like that. That's a little mysterious. Shadows in the mind and handling your crystal ball. Zuh. I appreciate that very much. All right, thanks very much, everybody, for playing. It was great to see you. It's been a little while. I think the next game, next Tuesday, if people are in, will be D&D. The one after that, we'll switch back to Shadowrun, and I think we'll do like 2s and 2s. I think that's how we'll do this.
Okay.
Cool.
I was very curious if anybody, feel free to throw in any plot points if you suddenly are like, I definitely robbed a guy. You can throw that stuff in at any point. And we'll see what happens, because random chaos factor, there's not enough of that in life, apparently. Anyway, thanks very much.
We get plot points too, don't we? I forgot
You
that.
definitely do. You get 2 each, just so you're not like,
Save
I brought.
to not drop the crystal ball.
Ooh. Oh, plot point spent. Okay.
Oh.
Elias.
What the hell
Dex.
did you just do?
That was
dropped the crystal
Phil
ball?
spent a plot point. Let's see if he does it. Dex save, please,
I'm always
Elias.
here
As
to
you're like,
throw it.
I got this, and you hold it up. It's still wrapped in the cloth. And
Dex save.
all right, I got to do an opposed roll just because I didn't bother setting.
Oh.
So I if I beat a 17, you're dropping this thing. Just so you know.
No. Can we do a death saving roll for it?
It was a 15.
Oh yes.
Whew.
Then both
After
were
all
plus
that
0,
work?
so that'd be great. I got it. Oh, son of. cut to Balin busy fabricating it back together, the two halves. You know what? I love that idea so much.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Let's go get some rest. Long rest. We'll see you soon. All right. Good night, everybody.
I was
Oh, guys.